Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're hearing Redick's interviewing for the Charlotte Hornets job. I mean, what do I think of that? I think it's kind of funny. I'm pretty sure he interviewed last year for a job or something along those lines, but Charania put out a report saying that Redick is interviewing for that coaching job. The NBA veteran and Duke star has made an interest in making the coaching jump in recent years. He's a guy that definitely, if you're wanting a more, I personally think the coach is going to be Charles Lee, and at Portsmouth, I kind of confirmed that I think it's going to be Charles Lee from the vibe, but Redick could be, if they want an actual coach, like a former player coach, and they want a first-year guy that they could build this squad around, and that, there's a big movement of former coaches becoming, or former players becoming coaches. And the reason is, especially with a guy like Redick, who's so young, who, clearly can connect to a younger audience. I think, at least in the media format, he probably, A, wants to win a championship, something he didn't do as a player. B, believes with his approach, personality-wise, stylistically, and his knowledge of the game, especially being a 6'4", 6'5" shooting guard who was primarily a perimeter threat before that became, a intangible asset that everyone has to have, no questions asked. He was one of the first guys to do it at a high clip. So he played through the shift. So where the shift actually allowed him probably to play longer than he would have before. And the way that he's able to, be a guy who played in the old era, was a guy teammate of Dwight Howard, played in an NBA Finals, played with the Clippers, played with Milwaukee. He's a guy who has a vast amount of experience and who has played with different types of coaches, different styles of play, and understands what is needed from the coaching perspective and from a player development standpoint, and how to properly implement or properly convey his viewpoints and his what he wants his players to do and how to develop them probably more efficiently than, say, someone who never was a player, than someone who didn't play in this era, even if they were a player. So I think there is that kind of like thought process that if you're a Jeff Peterson, the new head executive for the Charlotte Hornets, this is probably something that's crossing your mind. I personally believe Charles Lee, he was a player at Bucknell, and he's young. I think that's the guy if I had to put money, but it's just something to touch on if you guys didn't know.